In this next video, we're going to talk about making the ultimate final expense life insurance sales presentation. Coming up after this. Hey guys, I'm Doug Massey, and I really wanted to do a video on the making of a presentation. The reason this is important to me is because I think what happens is we all get different presentations, and the idea is to put something together that we're able to do or able to duplicate from maybe our mentor or the person training us or whoever have you. So one of the most important things in a presentation is rapport. You have to come up with a way to build rapport. To me, rapport can be built through the presentation if it's done correctly. The first thing that I like to do in a presentation when I sit down is find the need. And what I do is I let my client know, well, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I talk to folks just about every day about their burial or their cremation through affordable, state-regulated final expense life insurance. And Mrs. Jones, I've been doing this a really long time, and the one thing I've learned throughout the years is that it always comes down to one of three reasons that you would even speak with me about something like life insurance. The first reason may be that you've never prepaid for your funeral or that you have no life insurance. The second, some folks do have like a small burial policy, but it's usually not enough because, as you know, the cost of funerals keeps going up and up and up. So therefore, they want to add to that insurance, if it's affordable, of course. And then the third is the person who's got the funeral prepaid or the cremation all taken care of, but they want to make sure that when they pass away, they leave extra money to somebody for whatever reason, usually to pay for final expenses. So, Mrs. Jones, of those three, where do you fit in? The ideal is to get them to basically tell you where the need is. And sometimes they'll say something like, oh, well, I've already got it taken care of. And then what I always say is, oh, okay, so maybe you were thinking about maybe adding to your life insurance if it's easily affordable. When I say it that way, I find they usually go, well, yeah, okay, let's see what you got. That's what we want. So now that we've found the need, I want to get the client to know that I'm actually there to help them, that I'm going to do something different, that I'm not the typical life insurance agent, and that I'm not just there to sell them something, but I really want to help them. At that point is when I interject my personal commercial. And so what I'm going to suggest you do is come up with your own personal commercial, which is a way to identify who you are, where you come from, and why you're just one of them, because that's what you want. You want your client to feel like you're just a normal person there to help them without saying, hey, Mrs. Jones, I'm just a normal person here to help you. They've got to feel it in their heart. And that's going to really help you go a long way in your presentation. Personally, in my commercial, I tell them a little bit about what I used to do. I used to be a Hartford life insurance agent. And back then, Mrs. Jones, when I worked for the Hartford, I was really limited on my products. And a lot of times I'd go into people's houses and I'd sell them something, and then only to find out later that they could have gotten a much better deal elsewhere. So what I do today is completely unique, ma'am. Well, let me explain. I'm actually part of this group, and what we do is we help people get the best deal they can possibly get on their life insurance, because I literally have access to any life insurance company that you could ever want to use. And remember, Mrs. Jones, all the life insurance companies, they're all different. They all have different prices, and there's not one life insurance company that's perfect for everybody. It just doesn't work that way. Mrs. Jones, as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is make you my personal guarantee that by the time I'm done here today, no other life insurance agent is going to come through that door and give you a better deal on your whole life insurance. Now, guys, at this point is where we get into what the product is. And a big part of making a presentation is to be able to explain to the client exactly what you're showing them and what you're doing. And so what I do is I let them know about the stuff on TV compared to what we have access to. And they see my big sales book when I walk in and plump it on their table and the whole ground shakes. So they realize, that's not just one insurance company. There's got to be a bunch of stuff in that book. The last thing you need to do is close the client. And if you don't do this right, you don't do this in the right order, you're really messing things up. And when I say close the client, I mean be able to use an actual closing technique that works. The agents that I teach, what I do is I suggest they do it exactly the way that I do it. If the client says, oh, I don't think I can afford that, then they need to do exactly the way that I teach them to overcome that objection and to push them into a sale. This also comes with the correct way of collecting information, because if you do it right, you're not going to have any problem getting the check. What I do is, once I close them, I tell them, go ahead and grab your driver's license or ID. When they come back with that, now I've got them to go and come back. I fill out the information and I say, and what's your social? And I make sure not to ask that with any strain in my voice. What's your social? You're going to blow it by doing that. Then they give you the social. And then what I say is, now, Mrs. Jones, if you were to kick the bucket today, who would you want to get this money? And they give you the beneficiary. So I get them to give me stuff. They give me the ID, they give me the social, they give me the beneficiary and the beneficiary's information. Then what I do is I turn the application over and I say, I need you to sign here, I need you to sign here, and go ahead and grab me a voided check. And then I continue with the paperwork and I say it just like that. By asking for the payment the way that I just did it, it's easy for them to go ahead and go grab it. They're not going to have any second thought. If you're fumbling around, you're not asking for the social right, you're not demanding they go get the driver's license or ID, you don't tell them, go ahead and grab me a voided check, you're going to have nothing but a mess on your hand. You're going to blow so many deals, you're going to wish you never even got into the business. It all comes down to you making a good, solid presentation that covers everything necessary in a final expense life insurance sale. One of the last things I do is I always like to pull out my ID. I show them my driver's license. I tell them I told you I lived in Hallandale. I show them my Florida life insurance license and I show them the picture on it and I make a little joke. That's what I looked like 10 years ago. And this helps to solidify the close. I also leave them a really nice packet in a folder so that it feels like I didn't just come and disappear and not leave them something. I actually leave them a lot of information and make it real easy for them to reach me if they need to reach me, if they have any issue, any complication, or any problem, or any questions. I hope you got something out of this video. And if you did, go ahead and throw me the like, or better yet, subscribe below. If you've got an idea for a topic, please feel free to make your suggestion in the comments below. We're going to be putting out new videos every single week. If you're interested in our fixed cost direct mail lead program, and these are direct mail leads for $26 to $29 each, go ahead and shoot me an email at ufinsurance@gmail.com. Happy hunting, guys. Go and get them.